last count, there are about 53 radio stations within the broadcast landscape alone. And I said, yes, why not? We are here to make a difference. I said something yesterday, I was told when I was very young, that I didn't know be Latin Yoifi. Which means that in the committee of matters, the platinum stands top. It's top-notch. You cannot compare the platinum to gold, to silver, to brass, or to anything. So Dominion is here to dominate in practical terms.
I had no doubt in my mind that with this collection, we are going to set agenda. More importantly, we are going to enforce social ethics. Because part of the problem of Nigeria is that the state is too powerful and the society is too weak. So when the state begins to misbehave, the weak society has no power to hold them into control. So we begin to do social ethicizing. So we not only report, we will not only inform, we will also set agenda.
All right, welcome back from that break. It's still the agenda on Dominion Brokers Group. Well, I told you we'll be going to Oyo State. Yesterday we had a guest in the studio, and that's Honorable Shola Abegunde. He made some heinous, heinous accusations and heinous statements against the governor of Oyo State. But this morning, we'll be looking at that too. But before we get there, in Oyo State, healthcare is one of the 4 pillars of Governor Seyi Makinde's administration under Omitutu 2.0. On the 15th of March 2023, a list of over 209 primary healthcare centers were published and upgraded across 30 local government areas in Oyo State. Take it back to 7th March 2023. Governor Seyi Makinde presented checks of 4,550,000 naira to World Development Committee members for equipping 264 primary healthcare centers across the state. The funding for equipping the PHCs was from the Oyo State government, Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board, Impact Project, and Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. In case you don't know, we have 8 primary healthcare centers per ward in Oyo State, making it, per local government, I beg your pardon, making it 264 in total. Well, I just let me let you know, because the federal government has also said they will be upgrading some primary healthcare centers. Will Oyo State be part of those states that will be upgraded? Well, part of the talking points this morning. Joining me this morning on the program is the acting publicity secretary and the youth leader of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State, Michael Ogunshino. Good morning. It's good to have you on the agenda this morning.
Thank you, Chike. It's wonderful being on your show, and it's my first time being here. This facility is beautiful.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Right. The agenda for today, we're looking at the government of Engineer Seyi Makinde. Yesterday, I had a guest who had some reservations about this government. He has his own opinion, and we want to, you as a spokesman for the party, the ruling party in Oyo State, feel you would also throw some light on some of these things he said. But I'll be bringing you the clips from yesterday. Let's get to listen to Honorable Shola Abegunde yesterday while he was in the studio, and we engaged ourselves in some chit-chat. And some of the things he said about the executive governor and the governance of Oyo State there. Honorable Shola Abegunde, let's get to listen to him. How do you see governance in Oyo State so far? This is the second term, the second year of the second term of the governor. Yeah. That's about 6 years into his administration. How far so far?
If you ask me this question, I will look at Oyo State and I will look at what the Governor Makinde promised. prior to 2019. Governor Makinde promised that he was going to invest in agriculture to the extent that we will be exporting maize to Botswana. At any rate, I had issue with that because I was looking at what is the strength of the Botswana currency against what we have in Nigeria. But he made so much promises regarding agriculture. Today, Oyo State government does not own an acre of land or farm that belongs to it.
But according to the Land Tenure Act, according to the Land Use Act of 1978, all lands in the state belongs to the government.
My own farm at Aya Village doesn't belong to him.
How? The government can revoke that land any day, any time.
But what I have on it now, is it not my own? I am talking of practical agriculture. You see, this man came in and suddenly agriculture became agribusiness. And one day I had to go and Google the meaning of agribusiness. And what I saw, I said, well, no wonder. No wonder.
Governor Makinde's efforts to rejuvenate agriculture in Oyo State has yielded significant results.
How?
Particularly through the revival of the Fashola farm settlement.
What happened to the cocoa rebate program? See, you can only control what you own. Those women at Agbeni Market now, the wares they are displaying for sale, they have control over it. Can Governor Makinde control it? The basket of cassava that I took to Ogbomosho, the basket of mango that they brought from Ogbomosho to Oyo State, can Governor Makinde control it? He doesn't plant it. He didn't plant anything for 6 years. What did Awolowo do? Was Awolowo wasting time on agribusiness? Awolowo went into practical farming, and that was why he established those farm settlements. And the concepts were different. Where he discovered that the comparative advantage will favor stock farming, that was what he did. Where he discovered that the comparative advantage will favor cocoa, that was what he did. He was planting cassava. He was making gari. I could remember Texagri from Texaco cassava. He brought in Texaco cassava species, and he was making Texagri gari. There was a depot at Oyo Town there. The farm settlement in Erua now, 4,000 hectares. Governor Makinde has handed it over to some unknown people. Contained within that 4,000 hectares is the Erua Water Works. Massive one, including the Erua Water Works.
If you have issues with Oyo State government coming up with the Fashola farm settlement as an agri-business,
it did not come with it or come up with it. It was
revived,
established by it
was established by Awolowo.
For what? To benefit local farmers or who?
Okay, so you see,
go and check. When we look at the farm,
yes,
go and take stock of.
But we have to start from somewhere. From 1999 till 2019, which is about 20 years, no governor revived the farm settlements in Oyo State.
That's a lie. You see, there has been a lot of lies told by this government, and it's only because people are not taking them up. Like, there was a time I had, this PMS thing, no, it was Nove. Akala started it. Go and check. Ask Prince Dotun Yelade. Prince Dotun Yelade was the spokesperson of Akala. We had a media team. I was the secretary. Akala started the PMS. He prescribed the NURTW thing after this crisis at Iwo Road. It was not Nove. During Akala's time, there was a period we had issue with the Lagos press. And we said, okay, you guys come and see what we have done. The first place I took them to was Fashola. Akala spent billions of naira at Fashola.
But nothing came up from Fashola after the billions.
What is coming up?
I remember Akala procured several tractors, 33 tractors.
He also established the College of Agriculture, Igbora.
Now, the 33 tractors that were procured by...
No, they were not 33, more than 33.
No, they were 33. They were one to each local government.
Apart from that, the state government also procured hundreds.
So where are those tractors today? Where are those machines today? What Akala procured then is no longer on ground. And then this present governor came in and then revived these farm settlements, especially Fashola farm settlements. We have about 7 farm settlements in Oyo State. Well, Fashola has been revived.
Chike, despite Fashola,
yes,
Oyo State still relies on the north for the supply of pepper.
Well,
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay.
Pepper,
yes,
tomatoes, onions, melon, watermelon,
even beans,
even rice.
okay.
So now, see, let me tell you something. Don't tell me.
Are you saying Fashola farm settlement was revived for croonies? Is that what you're saying?
You go there and
No,
take
is
a
that what
stock.
you're saying?
No, you go there and take a stock of the farmers there. Are they locals or foreigners? And whatever they...
All right, some of the excerpts from yesterday's discussion with Honorable Shola Begunde. Well, Honorable Michael Ogunshino is here in the studio. You listen to Honorable Shola Begunde. Shola Begunde is your friend, right?
Yes.
And then...
He's a very senior colleague, somebody I respect so much.
Yeah, and then he made some statements about this administration and the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde, and even on the persona of the governor. You want to react to some of the things he said?
You see, I love the way you actually started from. You said somebody was here yesterday and he made heinous claims and statements. And that's the best way to describe what Mr. Shola Begunde has come out to say. Heinous. It has no solid base. It is not true. It is, and I find it rather appalling that somebody will come out today in Oyo State and say that Seyi Makinde hasn't done anything in agriculture. I find it rather appalling. I find it rather very disturbing that a man of his caliber, a man of his age, a man of his intellect, a man that is that exposed will come out to say that they've not been able to see what Governor Seyi Makinde has done in agriculture. That is far from the truth. Everybody who is in this state knows that it is a lie. Thank God. I also saw that you did part of my job. You asked me a simple question. Are you saying that past governors in this state, if they had shown the kind of commitment, if they had shown the kind of interest, the kind of investments Seyi Makinde has put in Fashola, maybe would have a better agricultural system. So in 6 years, so let me tell you this, Mr. Shiki, and I've known you for years in this beautiful city, and I would tell you that in the last 6 years, there is no year that the Oyo State government presents budget and you don't hear about agriculture. For the very first time since 1999, we were really talking about agriculture. For me, that's a major win for the government. Major win for the government. Before now, nobody talks about agriculture in Oyo State. Nobody actually talks. Now, to show Governor Seyi Makinde's commitment so that we can speak to specifics, people are listening to us. So let me remind him what they may have probably forgot or what he knew and decided to suppress the truth. So let me answer my very senior colleague and wonderful elder brother. Number one, what you have done in agriculture. By the time we came in 2019, where were we as regards Oyo State agricultural topography, the current setup? It was practically non-existent. Practically. I went to all the campaigns with Governor Seyi Makinde in 2019, and I can tell you for a fact that in 2019, and when we were going to Iseyin, we used well over almost 3 hours before we got to Iseyin. Iseyin is the gateway between Ibadan and Okeogun. Okeogun is the agricultural hub of the state. Governor Seyi Makinde in 1 year fixed that particular road. Today, if your car is very good and it's V6 or V8, like that vehicle that you use, you can get to Iseyin in 45 minutes, 1 hour. You know, and then number one, that road is fixed. Now there is easy mobility for farmers to transport their farm produce through to the capital city. Number one. Number two is that we're also finding a way to create space for our agriculture to thrive. Let me remind you, in 2019, we had a budget for agriculture, and immediately after 2019, we had COVID. After COVID, we started with the Fashola farm settlements. You remember? That's a 4.5 billion naira project. And today, I can tell you for a fact that there are more than 20 foreign companies doing agriculture in Fashola. And what you have done is so beautiful, is so amazing, that it has actually attracted external investors and even other nations to come to Oyo State and see what we're doing. Don't forget that it is, you rarely see presidents come leave their country to come and do CWS or IT in another country. I'm sorry for my choice of words, but I think what actually came to do in Oyo State was to look at the wonders Governor Seyi Makinde is doing in agriculture. See, I go to Fashola myself, and I look at the amazing things the governor has done in that particular place. Very beautiful, very novel, very amazing. And see, when people say that they don't have the money we are spending in Fashola, we're not seeing it we're not seeing the impact in the states. I find it very appalling. Mr. Chiki, the Queen of Africa the Queen of Cassava in Africa, her name is Jemisi Oronloye. This is not free advert, just stating the fact. And our company is Touch International. She's the biggest exporter of cassava in Africa. The farm is where? On Oyo State here. Bread farms, Geo, Oyo State here. Niji farms, Oyo State here. MPG farms, Oyo State here. I'm not talking about the plenty foreign storage processing, farm process facility that you have inside Fashola. Maybe one of these days, I'll ask you actually, maybe a weekend, we'll go to Fashola to see for ourselves. I tell you for a free that you'll open your mouth and say you'll marvel at the wondrous thing you have done in Fashola. And then you are saying that, look at these beautiful things you are doing at Fashola. Let's also replicate it in Erua, and then do it in Akufo. See, the argument about the Erua Water Works in Erua Farm Settlement, it does not hold any water. Because, and it's so many it's very funny. He said that you have given Fashola farms to unknown people. What can be further from the truth than that? Now, currently, anything called agribusiness in Oyo State is under a particular agency called Oyo State Agency for Agribusiness, under the DG, Dr. Debo Akonde, an IITA trained agriculturist. That nobody can deny his intelligence, his versatility, his expertise in that particular field of endeavor. He is a successful agriculturist, a successful farmer by all standard of international repute. Now, if that man is headed to agribusiness, one thing we did, if you remember, when we came on board, it was Oyo State Agricultural Department, OSADEP. You remember? And the office that's Ibadan North. For crying out loud, how many farms do you have in Ibadan North? That you put the Oyo State Agricultural Department under Ibadan North. So what we have done is to say, okay, let's make it a big deal. Let's be able to coordinate, encourage, and bring all our farmers into one particular space. Let's make it something that it could be our comparative advantage to other countries and other states. And then we said, okay, let's make it Oyo State Agricultural Development Agency. We made it an agency that has a board chairman, created by the extension laws of the state. So what have you been able to do? The Dr. Akonde has come on board. Now, so apart from that, we relocated the agency from Ibadan North to Shaki. Shaki is like the center or the heartbeat of Okeogun. You know, if you're saying it's the gateway, I think Shaki is good to say they are the heartbeat of Okeogun. Now, to Shaki, so that they can effectively monitor the agricultural hub of the particular state. Now, as you are doing that work in Shaki, don't forget that we're not living in Oyo, where Fashola Farm is. So as I speak to you, there are more than 20 foreign agricultural processing companies, and there are some from other states too, coming to this particular state to invest in agriculture. Let me say this. According to MBS, National Bureau of Statistics, they told us that Nigeria were the world capital for multidimensional poverty. And a particular day I sat down, looked at that particular data, and I saw things that got me interested. Number one, the poorest zone in this poorest geopolitical zone in this country is the Northwest, followed closely by the North Central and then the Northeast. And guess what? The predominant occupation of these people in these three zones are farming. From Benue to Borno to Plateau, are farming. So even though they are large-scale farmers, they are still poor.
Honorable Michael Ogunshino, I like the fact that you're coming up with these statistics and trying to get the record straight. However, you made a point here. You said the Fashola Farm settlement was revived or resuscitated with about 4.5 billion naira. Now, was the 4.5 billion naira Fashola Farm arrangement for these peasant farmers, or what you call smallholder farmers? Yeah. Is it for smallholder farmers, or is it for those people who come to Fashola and then export their things outside of Oyo State? Because the question now is, what's the place for smallholder farmers?
That's a very good question. Very, very fine question. And number one, let me say this. Let me finish my thought process. Oyo State people, we're able to do plenty of things. We're able to move our IGR from 1.5 billion, about 1.75 billion, na the Shola Begunde party, the APC, where he actually is a member, where they left it from. So about 9 billion every month. Why? Because of investments that are strategic and meaningful, like the Fashola farms. Many of these foreign nationals, they pay IGR, right? They contribute meaningfully to IGR. So able to make money to do bigger things in the States. Now, to the best of smallholder farmers, let me tell you 3 things that we have done. Number 1, you remember ACOS. ACOS Agricultural Credit Corporation of Oyo State. Now, they have a budget allocation every year.
For who?
Smallholder farmers.
Who are the smallholder farmers?
Okay, so currently, we realized that when we came on board, there was no meaningful organization. They were not organized. They were not. In fact, let me tell you an experience. When we're doing a safer, Seyi Makinde safer concept, and you see, I also find it very funny that somebody will say that they've not seen what Seyi Makinde has done. People like that, you should hug them and tell them life is difficult for the blind. If you cannot see what Seyi Makinde has done in your state, I'm sorry, you have a lot of issues with your sites. Now, during SAFER, I'm a member of the Food Security, SAFER Committee on Food Security. Do you get? And part of our responsibility is to ensure that apart from giving people food palliatives, we should also ensure that there is food security in our state. So I was part of the phase of different engagements with farmers of every kind, from poultry and livestock farmers to cassava and crop farming. Do you understand? We just wanted to ensure that government is part of what you're doing at your small space. That's if our arrangement wasn't for people in Fashola, wasn't for the foreign investors. It was majorly for our, apart from that, don't forget that there's a 1 billion naira accessible loan for them.
For who?
For the smallholder farmers in Oyo State. This loan is actually very accessible.
Michael, you see, you're saying these things, yes, they might be on paper.
They're not on paper.
Many of these smallholder farmers have not benefited from it.
No.
If you say they are benefiting from it, then where is the place of we still bringing in some food produce from the north?
No, so let me explain.
What is the comparative advantage of Oyo State?
Currently,
yes.
We actually have it in cassava.
Okay.
That is the truth. Cassava, maize. We have a lot of it because every kind of cassava, I'm sure you know cassava has many types. Every kind of cassava will grow in this beautiful state. You know, and don't forget that, and I believe we have also seen that we can also excel in other things like maize. We have seen that we can excel in other things like pure vegetables and some part of Okeogun. Do you get it? So we're trying to see, okay, let's create a structure around this particular thing that we are known for. Now, Mr. Chike, look at it like this. If you look at our agriculture in Oyo State, if you look at the smallholder farmers in Oyo State, many of them, and this is where cultural consumption comes in place. Many of our farmers that see that there is money in exporting cassava, they have left their smallholder farmers. They are now farming cassava on their own farm for the singular purpose of exportation to other countries. The human nature that wants everything at every time. Do you understand it? Now, because they know that cassava is scarce in the world. Everybody wants cassava because of the raw material called sorbitol that is used to create some of these drinks that we take. You know, there's a particular raw material in cassava called sorbitol that is needed everywhere in the world currently. So everybody is moving towards cassava growing, cassava planting for exportation. Let me tell you, there are international agencies that are paying farmers in your state to grow cassava for them. So it's simple. Many of our farmers are not looking into how do we also create this for local consumption again. They are looking at how do we also create more money for ourselves, because exporting for international consumption means more money for you. You know, and that's a problem. But you see, as a state government, we want to be responsible. We don't want to come and give excuses for people. And I can speak about this because I am in that particular committee. I am in that space, and I know it works. One thing we're doing is that we're trying to engage every needed facet of our farmers to say, okay, this is what the government is doing. If you want to, and if you have a farmer, you are sure is a farmer. Let us. The office that Sheikh Akeugba Gold, that you know very well, is the chairman of ACOS in your state. Chairman of ACOS. And you know that it's not a man that will take one and call it two for you. He's a very sincere, straightforward man. Come, fulfill of the process, ensure that you don't have any fulfill all righteousness, and then you get your fund.
All right, Honorable Michael.
And no, apart from that,
let's talk about the Agricultural Corporation, ACOS.
I still want to talk about the money we are giving to Salon the Safer project. We give them 500 million for young people who want to go in the farming.
Okay, we'll get there. Now, for ACOPS.
Yes.
The question is this. Why go through this rigorous process?
To access loan.
Now, we have farm settlements in Oyo State.
Yes.
And now it leads me to Akufo Farm Settlement.
Yes.
There, after Ologweru, they call it the camp.
Yes, I know Akufo.
Now, do you know that Akufo Farm Settlement last week was demolished? Some parts of it were demolished. Do you know about that?
I know about that.
Okay. Was that government instruction?
No. So,
these smallholder farmers that are there, especially those who run their piggery, their poultry, have been displaced already.
Okay, so I know one of them. One of the people who are displaced that are engaged. Okay. And I said, oh, came to me and said, Michael, they've bought our farm. I said, I'm sorry. How did you get that farm? Akufo Farm Settlement has been existing before we were born. Okay, before I was born, anyway.
Okay, so
so I'm saying that. How did you get that farm? Somebody told you there's a land free somewhere, and then you moved there and started a particular business there. Maybe you paid 1 or 2 persons who are actually legal. You paid them and then started a particular business there. See, it does not matter how long illegality has gone on. The day legality stand up, to catch up with it.
So are you saying that demolition was from government?
I'm saying that.
Was that order from government?
I'm saying that there are some people who have traded their business in an illegal way in Akufo Farm Settlement. And now the government is looking at a bigger project. We're looking at a bigger vision. We're looking at how we can effectively manage or effectively put Akufo Farm Settlement to the highest and best use.
So was that act an order by the government?
Yes.
So government instituted that demolition?
Yes.
Okay. Because the people there who are the small scale
and let me tell you, we've been on this Akufo Farm Settlement issue for about 2 years. And let me tell you, I also know something, Mr. Chike, that people don't talk about. In this government, Shemak, in this government, I'm not sure there has been any government who is as kind, who is people-centered like this government. Now, we've been on this, we will demolish, we will not demolish. Please find alternative for about 2 years.
You gave them papers?
2 years.
Okay.
For almost 2 years.
Okay. Now, you just said something now. Those who are there were occupying it illegally.
Some of them.
Some of them were occupying it illegally.
Some of them.
Now, if they were occupying it illegally, however, were producing what the state will need as smallholder farmers.
We're doing their business.
No, just hold on. Just hold on.
Okay.
Now, they are operating illegally. However, they are producing what a part of the state, well, the geographical location in the state, can assess and feed on. Why not incorporate these people and make them get these things legally rather than going to demolish what they have suffered?
That is the beautiful part of Governor Seyi Makinde. You see, the whole idea is simple. Let's do what we have to do and find a way to integrate people back into what they do.
How do you integrate them back after?
So let not do that before. No. Let me explain to you. Don't forget that there's going to be a lot of developments in that particular farm settlement. The same way it was in Fashola, roads to be done, should like be put there, security infrastructure we put in Akufo Farm Settlements. The same way we do in Eruwa, like what we have done in Fashola. But look at it. If you look at Fashola, this argument that they are not smallholder farmers Fashola, yes, it's a lie. Because I know that there are actually local farmers.
Okay, so this is it. You see, this is some people. Yeah,
that's Akufo.
Yeah, that's Akufo. That's the camp.
Yes, that's Akufo.
Some of these, you can see that on the screen.
Yes.
Some of them have been protesting.
I know some of them.
Yeah. Okay. So now back to what I'm saying. Now we have smallholder farmers.
Yes.
Right now.
I'm
talking about Akufo Farm Settlement.
Yes.
You see that Akufo Farm Settlement?
Yes.
I'm familiar with that farm settlement.
Yes.
I don't have any family there, but I think we need to talk about it.
You need to have farm there.
Okay. Now, the Akufo Farm Settlement, the Akufo Farm Settlement there. Now, do you know that you have people who have built residential houses on that farm settlement?
I know. Currently, there are a lot of real estates that are selling land in Akufo Farm Settlement.
Now, why have you not, as much as possible, tackle that issue.
No.
And then reintegrate those people who are occupying there illegally for agricultural purpose.
So this is it. It is not the entire Akufo village, the ancestral Akufo village, that is earmarked for farm settlements. There was something that Shola Begune said that he also acceded to, is the fact that Akufo farm settlements was not, it is not an idea that started from Seyi Makinde. Seyi Makinde is just the savior that God is using to change the story, you know, so that Akufo farm settlement can actually have life. Do you get it? It is not the entire village. There's no part of Akufo that people still live till date. It's an ancestral home of some people. There's some part of it that people still live till date. I have a family, I'm an Ibadan man. I have a family that's been in Akufo for more than 20, 25 years. You know, and they are not farmers. They are just residents in that particular village because they are from there. It's an ancestral home. So, and they are not, where they are living is not even where the farm is. So farm settlement is actually an earmarked place, and you see, I keep saying it. That farm settlement, it is not Oyo State that earmarked that this will be the farm settlement. No. So people actually know that this is. Are you aware that there were people that were farming illegally virtual farm settlement before Governor Seyi Makinde came? Now all of those people today, they were not displaced to. We just allow us build this place to what we want to build it to. Let us turn it to something you'll be proud of. And after that, we allocate land for you to continue your business.
So what happens to those people? What happens to those people whose pig pens, whose poultry pens were demolished last week?
Number one, they had enough time to prepare. Number one. Second time is that they are sure, and go and ask them. People that have been engaging them keep telling them that they will be reintegrated. They keep giving them the government assurance that don't worry, you'll be integrated. Why would you want to? What would we as a government of the people, the government that people genuinely love, the government that lives for the people, the government that Oyo State people love our governor? How do you think that we would?
That's relative, though.
It's not relative. It's absolute. People love the governor.
It is relative.
It is. I'm telling you, it's not relative. You take it, they don't love him. They gave you over 1 million votes in 2 elections. They love him.
Maybe people have started having some doubts in them.
Now, let me tell you, the governor of Seyi Makinde in Oyo State keeps growing every day.
Oh, okay.
Every day. You know, and they sue for street sooner. I'm telling you, I tell you the fact that truth of the matter is that the love for people, the love for Governor Seyi Makinde and the PDP in the heart of people is organic. There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay, let's get back to
so we are saying. So the government that people love, they know that we will not do anything about the fact that they had enough time to prepare for this process that's currently going. At the same time, they've been assured. They have the governor's word, they have the government's word that they'll be reintegrated. It is not a complete write-off. It's not a complete leave that place. Now, so the pig pens, now this is it. My people will say that a foretold war does not kill a wise cripple. A foretold war does not kill a cripple that is wise. You knew. So people like to dare the government. It's government now. When we protest, they will be mild, they will be this.
So basically, they'll be reintegrated.
I'm saying that
not all of them.
Of course, not all of them.
Okay.
Not all of them.
Okay.
But I can assure you that a majority of them will be reintegrated, compensated, then reintegrated. Because what we're actually doing too, it is not for foreign investors alone. We also want to make global investors from our local farmers. We also want them to be able to say that we are from Oyo State. The governor of Oyo State supported us to do amazing things, and we did it well, and now we have become big farmers. That's our intention to as a government. So many of them, we're still going to be engaged in this farm settlement. We're still going to carry them on board. We're still going to carry them along, and we're going to empower them, support them to build a farm that we will be proud of.
Well, our time is fast spent, but just in 30 seconds, I just want to ask you this. You talked about the people loving the governor.
Fact.
In 30 seconds, he says he has the capacity to lead. Will the governor be leading the country come 2027? In 30 seconds.
He has not spoken about his, if he will run on it. But I tell you, if Governor Seyi Makinde declares today that he will, in fact, let me tell you in fact, categorically, without mind saying what, without fear of contradiction, 70% of Nigerians are waiting for Seyi Makinde to declare his ambition and follow her line with him.
Oh.
Including you.
No, well, that's your own opinion, right?
You don't know how much people love this governor.
All right, thank you, Honorable Michael Ogunshino, for featuring on the agenda today. I hope to having more of you.
Yes, anytime.
All right. Thank you, there, viewer, for being there this morning. In whatever you do, beware. Watch the dancer's feet before joining the dance. You can join us on our website at www.dominion.org.ng to listen to us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn is at Dominion Broadcast. And on the app X is at Dominion Cast. I am Chike Ubog. Do have a great day, stay safe, and keep listening to Dominion TV.